Trudy and I wandered through St. Mark's Cemetery for hours looking for this gravestone until we finally found it. So Ava's definitely got some kind of a connection there.
Yeah, it's an interesting thing because I've had that happen to myself. We went to Park Lawn Cemetery in Toronto one day, and it was a weird thing because I didn't know about my father's side of the family very much, other than they're travelers, right? We know they're travelers. They've been travelers for hundreds of years in the UK. And and it turns out my grandmother's side too, on my mom's side.
Gosh.
Got lots of travelers in our family. So it was a really interesting thing because we went to the cemetery, and the weird thing was we were going to the church to pick up Ed's mom's ashes because they'd been interred there, and it was just way too far away, and so we went and we removed them from the church and we brought them home. So we stopped at the cemetery there because I had found out that my great grandparents were buried there. I didn't even know they made it to Canada. They came over in the late 1800s, early 1900s, and they were buried there. Well, when we went to the cemetery, we had no idea where they were. So we drove in, and the same thing. We drove in. I don't know if you've ever seen have you been to Park Lawn, Ian, in Toronto?
Yeah.
Massive cemetery.
Oh, it is. It's huge.
Hundreds of acres. We drive in. I stop the car. We park. It's November-ish. It's snow. There's a little bit of snow on the ground. There's lots of deer in there, tons of them eating, all of the bushes and the trees. So we're watching all the deer. And I'm just drawn in this one direction where this big female deer is nibbling away on the tree, just, maybe 100 feet away. So I had my cell phone and I'm like trying to get a picture of her. And as I'm walking, I stop, I get a picture of her. I look, my grandparents' headstone, my great grandparents' headstone.
No way.
Wow.
Wow, really? That's awesome.
It was like
I know. When Ava stopped like that on the stone and put the flowers there, it was just like so like like she didn't know what she'd done. It was wild, isn't it? It's just incredible.
It's so weird that they reach out to us to let us know, right? So Ian, what are you going to tell us about? Because this is kind of good.
Oh my gosh.
He's got so much. I know you have.
I've been doing this for 8 years now. I'm not even sure what direction down the rabbit hole you want me to go.
All right, I got a question for you. What motivates you to explore the paranormal? Like, what keeps you going? What is it
there's when you talk about the paranormal and paranormal investigators and paranormal researchers, you can take 10 different people and ask them that same question. What motivates you? What are you looking for? And you're going to get 10 different answers, most likely.
Yeah.
Because everybody's got our own reasons why we do this. And from these other people, it appears that so many are looking for the answers of what's waiting for us after we die, what's on the other side. And everybody's trying to accumulate this information of, what are we to expect? Well, that's not me. I want to communicate.
Right.
I think it's so cool to go to somewhere like Fort George or anywhere like that, and make communication with a soldier from the War of 1812. I want to know the stories.
Mm-hmm.
That's what motivates me. Is I want to know the stories and maybe why are they still here and haven't moved on.
If there is an on to move to, right? Because I really believe there isn't an on. I believe that we just return to become a part of the energy that is here. And so that's why we're able, I've talked about that before, that's why we're able to tap into this, right? It's not like they're coming back and forth from some magical place, right? We are energy, we are natural, we're energy. And so I think that that's kind of how the universe works, right? It keeps it's like a big giant battery that just keeps going.
What motivates me is I've always wanted to help people. And I found that my gift has been able to help people, whether that's people moving on, being able to answer certain questions for people, people that are sort of hanging on to something. I'm able to pick up on that and say, it's okay, you can let go of that now. You don't have to hold on to that anymore. It's all about helping people.
Look at you, Rachel. She's so helpy. I'm more like the reluctant helper. Yeah. I mean, I do readings for people and I do a lot of this, but it's only if the spirit is nudging me. It's not like I really want to do readings for people just for the sake of doing readings. And we've talked about this before, Rachel, because it's like, for me, it's exhausting. And, it's just not me. I mean, I am who I am, and, I am the receptacle of information, but unless the spirit is nudging me, and if people contact me looking for answers, if the other side's not coming through for me, like they're whoever they're looking for, I'm not really wanting to do a reading or do a sit down with them, because I'm not going to be able to give them any real information. Right.
I don't want to be a show pony. That's where I'm at.
Well, and I don't like feeling that way. Like, I think people who do readings for a living, it's great if that's what you do. For me, I feel it like it is a bit of a dog and pony show. And that the expectations of people when they sit down in front of you are so great that, it's like, and sometimes you just can't deliver that information. And so I don't use any divination tools, really. I have some, but if I was to I would just sit down with somebody. I can still do that reading, but that's only if that information and that energy connection is there. If it's not, I just feel like I would be not giving the person a truthful version of what they need to hear. So I'm very reluctant. Like I say, I'm the reluctant reader. Yeah.
Like I said, I had a paranormal investigation once where I was brand new to the paranormal team. One of the first investigations out with this team. And I went, and I guess the woman that was there at the house wanted me to basically pick up on the fact that, her mom had passed away. And her mom used to have it sit in a certain chair that, she died in, actually. And I guess the team was hoping or really wanted me to pick up on that particular entity spirit, because the mom, the daughter was grieving, because she'd lost her mom. I wasn't going to play into that. I didn't feel comfortable saying, "Oh, your mom's here. Yes, she's with us. Oh, looky. Here's the flashing lights. Your mom's here." It didn't feel right for me to do that. And that's what I meant by showboating or being a pony. I'm not here to. But I can help in other ways. Saying, look, it's a good. If I'm not picking up your mom, to me that's a good thing. She's moved on, she's at peace, she's happy, it's okay. I think that's a better answer, but people don't always want to hear that,
People don't always want to hear the truth either. So
it's like, no, it's my mom, I know it is, and blah 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 blah. It's okay. I'm not gonna get into an argument with anybody about
Yeah, and I've done big paranormal events and done readings at big paranormal events, and that, where there's hundreds of paranormal, like hundreds of mediums, and people coming around, and it really is a dog and pony show at that point. It's like you feel like it's like, oh, pick me. I don't do that, but it's the weirdest feeling for me, right? It's not, I don't feel that for me, it's a truthful experience. Like, I do get messages, I'm not going to lie, it happens. But at the end of the day, I think when we do this in general, like just these kinds of things, I go into it with zero expectation. I don't know if you guys do, but I honestly, I don't go somewhere just to find like a spirit or a story or.
No, I just let things come to me and pick it up. Like, for example, at that investigation, I picked up on a male spirit that was the previous owner of the house. Like, I picked up all these fantastic details. You know, I did really well. I came up with everything, you know, the year that they died, this, that, the name of the person, you name it, but that wasn't good enough because it didn't bring up the, you know, the owner's mom who passed.
And that, again, that's, you know, but that's the nature of what it is. And as I tell people, my explanation for it is this. You and I, Rachel, could be, and Ian, we could all three of us be on an investigation together. Ian's got his equipment out. I'm picking up on something, but you're not picking up on it, Rachel.
Exactly.
So does that mean it doesn't exist?
No.
No. It means that all of us in the room, no matter who you are, we're vibrating at our own frequency. And I feel like in order for spirit to find you, that frequency has to be conducive. Like it has to be able to come together. It's almost like a magnet, you know, so you put two magnets together, like they push each other, repel each other apart, right? So, but it's just like picking up like a magnet. When you go to pick up metal, it brings that energy together and it connects. And I feel like that in terms of how I channel things. And I think that, you know,
my biggest fear was with I know we've all got to start somewhere, but amateur mediums or psychics or people that claim, you know, that they know or do more than they actually can. You know, I've been on investigations with people that, you know, can cause more harm than good, and stress out, you know, people that are having a paranormal investigation at the house, you know, because
yes, I agree. I agree. You have to be very careful and cautious in what you say and how you react to things, especially if you're having a paranormal investigation where you do have, you know, somebody from the house. Generally, I won't do it that way. I want them out.
Oh, same here. Same here.
I want them home.
Yeah.
I want them all out of the house and animals.
Agreed.
I don't want any cats. I don't want any dogs. I don't want anything else there that's going to be interrupting the energy. And so that is about the only way that I will do it. I will not do an investigation if somebody is home and then with them constantly hovering around going.
Because they worry. Yeah. I mean, for example, so what happened was we went, I wasn't running the investigation. I was just a new member of the paranormal team. But they invited the psychic to join us. I use that word very loosely. And she came in and she was like, oh, you know, I'm sensing this little girl. I'm seeing a little girl. And she was supposed to be coming along as just a member of the team to get a feel for the paranormal investigation. So she wasn't like really meant to be there in that role. But hey, whatever, you do you.
I know.
And this is the thing. I think this is just a major concern I have with some of the paranormal groups, and I'm sure you've experienced it as well, Ian, where, you know, people are just, you know, not being professional about what they're doing, and taking into consideration of the fact that you're in somebody else's home, you know, going around their things, you know, talking about, you know.
Yeah, you have to be cautious, right?
I mean, these people are sincerely concerned. If they're concerned enough to call a paranormal team, there's a reason for it. You know, respect that is what I think.
You know, there's so many people that watch these crazy paranormal shows on TV, which are just rubbish, in my opinion.
Oh yeah,
and they're basing their own work on, well, I'll say work. Based on these TV shows, because that's where they're getting their experience from. Is from these shows.
So with it's awful. So with this psychic, this woman, I can't remember her name, but she was like, oh yeah, I'm picking up a little girl. And she said this in front of the owner. So the owner was still mulling about in the kitchen. All the other lights had been turned off, but the kitchen light was still on. And he heard this and he was like, little girl, and he didn't know, like, and I wasn't picking this up. I wasn't picking up a little girl at all. But she apparently was, and she told him that. So I guess, you know, it set off this ripple of upset. He was like, oh no, how awful that this poor little girl is, like, haunting my house. I feel so terrible about that.